San Antonio was settled where it is, obviously, because of the river. It's always played a critical part of the city's development. This week on Texas Outdoors, we're going to take a little trip back in time and see just how important the river was and is. Next to the Alamo, the Riverwalk is probably the most well-known thing about San Antonio. Without the river, there may never have been a San Antonio.
The water in this area has always been important for these native peoples. The San Antonio River, that they called the Yanaguana, was a huge part of their life, was this kind of, the sacred waters.
Almost 300 years ago, the Spanish knew how important the river was to the area's success and began digging acequias.
It is by hand with a shovel, picks and axes and shovels.
They diverted a portion of the San Antonio River. The dam they built still stands today. Then, in an almost unbelievable feat, dug a channel for miles to make sure their fields had water.
Sunrise to sunset, all of the people who lived in the missions were working, whether that was growing their food, ranching, blacksmiths, stonemasonry, or digging and cleaning these ditches.
The acequias made it possible to thrive in an area that gets, on average, less than 3 inches of rain per month. It was so important, land called suertes were given based on how much you could water a day.
And so maybe if they had extra or surplus, which was the goal, right, they could sell that on the trading route El Camino Real de los Tejas and make some profit as well.
Now, part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, the acequias are still used today. So these literally water these fields still?
These literally water these fields.
The San Antonio Food Bank is allowed to grow produce in some of the fields, as long as it's period-appropriate food and is only watered by the acequias.
Part of that agreement is that these fields closest to the historic mission get watered in the historic way. There is no irrigation drip plumbing in any of these farm fields, and you see, plants grow beautifully.
Through the spring and summer and well into the fall, crops flourish, as they have for centuries, and the water still flows exactly as it was intended, growing far more than crops.
It's created a community and it's created a neighborhood and where people have been here for many, many generations.
This is truly a fascinating history lesson. If you've not been to Mission Espada or San Jose, you really need to check this out. You can walk a long way along the acequia and take a little trip back in time, and actually, you're going to see the missions and see everything that's around them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's amazing to me. I lifted the board out of those channels, and the water just flows. And the way they did everything with shovels, and they had no machinery.
Right.
All of the fields are kind of tilted down, so all that water runs down and watered the fields that way. It was ingenious.
Yeah,
Really?
It's really pretty cool.
The Spanish actually stole the idea from the Romans.
Yeah.
Because their aqueducts and
stuff,
everything.
yeah.
And aside from all the benefits, it seems very serene, like a nice
Oh,
respite.
yeah.
You could just go there and,
And you're in the
leave this
city
world
limits.
for a minute.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Do a little picnic or something.
Water will seek its own level.
Yes, it will. You're never going to stop it either.
Exactly. That's the only thing I really know.
We're not getting really any water, though, are we?